to do this video, I swear. That laughter felt so good when I tell you. Listen, all I can do is laugh because apparently there is a glitch in the system. It's like, who sent them? Who sent these people? It didn't work out in their favor. So I'm gonna try to be brief in this video, but it's gonna be difficult because this is a fucking laughing matter. All I could do on my way home, y'all should have saw me, y'all. All I could do, like on the fucking subway train, is just laugh my freaking ass off. And by the way, tomorrow I'm taking a self-care day. December 1st, baby, it's all about me. But listen, I find it hilarious. So I decided to go out this evening to treat myself to some dinner. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Nothing that's unusual. I usually go out, treat myself. So I go to one of my favorite Mexican restaurants in Harlem, Lola, right? And I'm enjoying my meal. Like, I'm just doing me. This is me. I'm doing me. And I go to the restroom because I ordered a margarita, classic margarita on the rocks, right? So I'm feeling it. And it's about the time for me to leave, right? So I go to the restroom to relieve myself. And this is not a new place I've been to. This is a thing, This is a thing. I feel like this shit is funny. This is a learning lesson. I hope I can get this done because I realize that my battery is like at 39% right now. But this is a thing. It's like when they try to get over on black people, cut it out. I've said this before and I've given warning. Be careful. I hate to say this of myself, but I'm dangerous. I don't even try to be. I'm a dangerous person, Be careful, right? So I go to the restroom to relieve myself, right? And I come back and I'm walking back to my table, to my seat, and of course I'm alone. I'm a single woman. I'm single. I'm a free agent. Right? I come back to my table. And before I get to my table, of course, there's a couple that's sitting across from me. And of course, while I'm eating my food, before I even go to the restroom, I hear their accent. They're foreigners. I hear an English accent, thick accent, right? I come back from the restroom, and the guy, he goes out of his way to tell me, oh, don't use the men's bathroom. You shouldn't be using the men's bathroom. Now, granted, this is a restaurant. It's like a family-centered, family-oriented restaurant. Like, I've been there numerous times. I never noticed that they indicated men's restroom, women's restroom. The restaurant, the whole, the decor of the restaurant is immaculate, right? It's very nice. You can tell that they put a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of thought into the design of the restaurant. I never noticed that they had labels for men and women. I just went to the restroom, right? So he pointed out, I went to the men's restroom. And I was just like, haha. Of course I'm playing into it. Interesting, ha, 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 right? And so I sit down and he's continuing to engage, to elicit me. You gotta be careful whose energy, right? Who you're tapping into, whose energy you're tapping. And you just gotta be careful. So I guess he saw me as, oh, she's a beautiful, melanated black woman. Negro woman. She's by herself, right? She can be harmless. Little did he know what is coming to his ass. And granted, I didn't do this intentionally. Like, this is just me. It's like there was energy that was displayed towards me, and all I did was reciprocate that energy. I read energy. This is what I do for a living. And I be telling guys that I encounter, I do this for a living. This is who I am. They don't take heed. It's like almost like you have to experience it to really get it, right? And to really wake up and see, oh shit, she means business. Like, she ain't shit to play with. I hate to toot my own horn because it sounds very pompous and arrogant. I get it, right? For those who are watching. But I try to give fair warning. And even without me giving a verbal fair warning, it's like, it's almost like if you're smart enough, right? If you got a damn decent comment, you can look at a person and you can look at a motherfucker and tell, oh, she ain't to be played with. Like, but I guess he was feeling adventurous, right? So, after he make his joke, his slight, towards me, oh, you shouldn't be using a man's restroom. And I kind of laughed it off, of course. I'm just like, and I look back, I was like, oh, that is a man's restroom. And I was like, oh, I find it interesting that you even pointed that out. I laughed it off, right? Big deal. That's not the first time I've used a quote unquote men's bathroom necessarily, right? I've used it at Hudson Yards. I've used it at the World Trade Center Mall, like other places. It's not a big deal for me. I know who I am. I probably identify myself as African woman, right? I know who I am. There's no need to prove that. But yeah, so I sit down and I'm thinking in my mind like that was going to be it. Usually that is it. And I get it. I phenotypically, externally speaking, I'm an attractive woman. I get it. I thought that was going to be it. That was the end of the conversation, but he continues to engage me. So, of course, he's curious. This is nothing new, right? I've experienced this even in my workplace, where one of the psychiatrists on my team is asking me kind of personal questions. Oh, how old are you? Are you single? Do you live alone? Blah, 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 blah. All right? So this guy at the restaurant is asking me this. Meanwhile, he has a whole wife sitting with him. Turns out they're from Manchester, United Kingdom. And of course, I give them my spiel, like, I express to them my name, who I am, because they expressed to me who they were. So I'm just kind of returning the favor, right? And given, I did get my PhD from a school out in Los Angeles, California. But before that, I had thoughts about attending a school for my doctoral studies out in the UK. All right, so they're from Manchester. They're from Manchester in the United Kingdom. This is a whole wife and husband, They're a whole couple. I mean, listen, I get it. But it's just like, and I've said this before, this is nothing out of the ordinary. This is nothing unusual. I've had this experience many times over where a whole married man, a whole coupled man is coming on to me. And of course, I set boundaries. I'm just like, right? So when I communicate, all right, he's reaching out to me and eliciting responses from me, right, at this Mexican restaurant in Harlem. His wife is across from him, right? I'm sitting adjacent to their table. And I'm looking at his wife the whole time because, for me, I do unto people what I would like for people to do unto me. All right, so I'm thinking like if I was in a partner relationship, the fuck, right? Yo, this shit gets good. Hear me the fuck all the way out. This shit gets good, right? So I'm like, damn, I walk away from another situation feeling empowered. And I swear, yo, I cannot make this shit up. So I'm making eye contact with her, right, and him. This is just how I communicate. And I'm expressing, because they're asking me questions, right? They're wanting to know me. They're trying to fill out New York. Or we're at the Mexican restaurant. We're sitting down. I'm finishing my drink, my margarita. They have their set of drinks. And I'm making a conscious effort, being very intentional about responding to her versus him. But yet he's still, right? And it's almost like I'm looking at her like, okay, if she's responding and she's like, she cool with it, but yeah, I can read body language. So verbally, she's expressing that she's cool with this exchange that's happening. But non-verbally, she has her arms crossed. And I'm all about authenticity. It's just like, come on, all right? So he's like, oh, well, what are you doing next? And this is after I've already explained, I already shared, and they shared with me their occupation. She works for a law firm. He has his own thing that he does. He's telling me about his daughter that works in a similar related profession in which I work. And they're asking me like, oh, what are you going to do next? Like he's actually asking me this. She's going along with it. And I'm just like, oh, that's the kind of party that this is, right? So I'm like, actually, of course I have, patients I have to see. I'm, going to see tomorrow. I'm telling them this, right? And then he's like, okay, but he's inviting me to go hang out with them. They're like, we're in town, we're visiting from Manchester, the United Kingdom. We would like for you to join us, after this. So their idea is to go to Red Rooster. And I'm like, all right, it's just right down the street. We're in Harlem. What's the harm? Right? And the funny thing is, I'm an adventurous person. It's like, it's just funny because like people that interact with me and they come at me, yeah, granted, I get it. Because even I had a conversation with one of the psychiatrists on my clinical team where I work at the hospital, and he's looking at me. He's like, well, how old are you? And I'm expressing to him, I'm 40 years old. He was like, you don't look 40. I was like, okay, I take care of myself, But it's just like they have no idea. They're going based on the external. A lot of people just they're misguided, right? Based on how I look. And you just have to know. If you know, you know. One of those things, right? If you know, you can look at a person and tell. I hope, hold the fuck on. But a lot of y'all just disillusioned. And so, they're feeling a vibe. Of course, they're on vacation. They're exploring. They're adventurous. They don't want the night to end. And for me, I'm just like, I got shit to do tomorrow, which is December 1st, Friday. Right? And so I agree to go to Red Rooster. We go to Red Rooster. Good vibes, yo. The fucking bartenders at Red Rooster, fine as fuck. Okay, one of the bartenders, yeah, he was hitting for something. And this is like, it's just funny because black people, we read each other. We know what's going on. We read. Game, recognize game. And he looking at me, of course, I enter. And, oh, by the way, did I forget to mention that these people that I'm engaged in this whole exchange with, they are not black. They are white people, right? They're from the Caucasus Mountains, Right? They are Caucasian. And they're Caucasian, persuasion, right? And so it's funny because, like, I enter with them, this white man, this white woman. Clearly, they have money. Like, it's clear. I have money apart from them. I got my own money, right? But they got their money, right? They're on vacation here in New York. And it's just funny to see the reaction of these black, very fine, and I'm pretty sure they're well endowed black bartender men at Red Rooster in Harlem. And they're looking at me like, what the hell you doing with that ass? Well, what you do with them? Right? So we just sitting at the bar enjoying ourselves. And at this point, of course, before this point, right, I paid for my meal at the Mexican restaurant. They paid, that's where I met them. They paid for theirs, right, and drinks accompanied. But when we get to the, Red Rooster, he invited me. Of course, he paid. And this is like, it's funny because it's after we go into this very candid discussion while we were at the Mexican restaurant where I shared with them my preference of a man. And I just find it interesting, apart from that, when I do that, how men try to acquiesce to my expectations, right? And even if they're beta male, and they can be the most passive of a fucking beta male there is, right? But they will try to acquiesce and become that which I desire and I am most responsive to. I just find that interesting. I can see this whole exchange happening. It's just funny to me because it's just like, even after I tell men that I'm a psychologist, I say I do this shit for like you have been warned. Goes over their head, right? Apart from that, it's just like I'm very skilled at what I do. And I don't mean to do, I swear, y'all. Listen, I swear. I don't mean to do this shit to motherfuckers. But they do it to themselves. So let me tell you how my night went tonight. It's very entertaining to say that, when I say on my way home, all I can do is I was just bursting with laughter from the inside out. I couldn't help it because I'm just like, this shit is fucking easy as hell. I put myself on my own restriction. Granted, I've been abstinent since January 2021. And I set my own boundaries with men. Like, I have to do this because, like, I know the power that lives within me that I possess. And I swear I don't mean to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this to you guys. I don't. Y'all do it to yourself, though. And so things were going smoothly. We're at Red Rooster. Things were going very smoothly. The wife is vibing. For me, I kind of find it kind of awkward, but the whole time I'm looking at her, I'm making eye contact, making sure there's ongoing consent for what's happening here, because I'm just like, clearly your husband don't want the night to end. And I guess her being the loyal, faithful wife, she doesn't want the night to end either. So she's agreeing what his wishes are. Me, I've been wanting the night to end because my only intent when I went out was for me to get dinner. When I left my place, after I came home from the hospital at work, I got here and I got on the bus to Harlem, right? Very short ride to Harlem. I just wanted to get some dinner. That's it. That is freaking it. Right? He initiated conversation. They initiated conversation with moi. I can't make this up. And I'm just engaging with them. This is what they wanted. They're tourists. Of course, he pays for my drink when we're at Red Rooster. And I didn't even notice, but then I did notice that the waitress, the bartender, beautiful black man. There were 2 black male bartenders there at Red Rooster. Like, he tipped my drink off. Like, he added more, and I'm just like, I didn't really ask for it, but he did it. You know, this is, I guess, what the guy wanted. He wanted this, the husband in the ordeal, right? Yo, this shit, when I tell you, oh my gosh, let me give you something to drink. Hold on, I get some water. My fucking throat is dry. This shit is a fucking shit show. But this reminds me of why I fucking love New York City. This is why I moved here. This is why I'm still here. Because your life is just so unpredictable. Things are just so spontaneous. You just never know. You fucking just never know. And so, after I've already had like 2 glasses of margaritas on the rocks at the Mexican restaurant, which of course was on my bill, right? A part of my dinner. We go to Red Rooster. He took that, right? This is what they wanted. What he wanted specifically. And I'm just enjoying the present moment. Like, I'm centered in the here and now. Not thinking about yesterday, what happened yesterday before. Tomorrow, I'm centered in the here and now, just enjoying the present moment, getting to know them as a couple. There's some things they share, and this just happens naturally when people feel comfortable with other people. They were sharing some really deep details about their relationship, their marriage, their children. Even showed me their home fucking camera from their phone. They can see and monitor their home from their, like, I'm not gonna get into that part, but yeah, they were like going really deep. And so, like, yeah, we're at the bar, and then the bar eventually closes because it's a weeknight, right? It's just Thursday night, November 30th. So the bar closed at 10 o'clock, and we just, pack things up. And I'm headed towards the train station to go home. And I'm taking my normal route, and I'm, like I said, headed home. And we attempted to part ways, but then somehow we reconnected, right? Our paths crossed again. And they're like, oh. And I get it. Like, this is what he really wanted, because, and this is nothing new. I've said this before in previous videos where I talk about relationships and alternative sexual lifestyles, keeping your partner happy. Is that even really a thing? Is it your job to keep your partner happy? Right? Or is happiness something that should be inherent within a person? And I've made a whole video about that. Of course, I'm of the persuasion and strong belief that it's something that is really inherent within us. Happiness. It's no one's job to keep the other person fucking happy. And so it takes me back to an exchange we were having in the midst of this wondrous, spectacular, very memorable night where they're like, wow, you're 40? I can't believe it. Like, how do you stay looking so beautiful and so youthful? And I'm just like, no, I don't have kids. That's it. I don't fucking have kids. And I'm unpartnered. And then she's like, yeah, that's it right there. You're single, right? Her speaking from a married woman's perspective and her having children from this man, right? And so I just find that hilarious. How people are in you're in a whole fucking relationship, a whole ruin the whole fucking marriage. The fuck? I get it though. Listen, I understand every aspect of it. And I can see that she was not happy at some point throughout this exchange. Actually, it's funny. It's like, yo. When I can just say this. When I say I've lived life, and I'm very well versed. I don't know what comes off on the surface, right? I get it. It comes off. And not just from this encounter, but other encounters, and even in my professional domain. Like, people look at me and they may perceive a certain thing. And this is where they go wrong. This is where they go wrong because they somehow think, oh, they can get over. And I think that's what he had in mind. Like, oh, I'm going to run game. Like, I'm going to do this. Right? And I picked up his energy. He just held so much confidence. And it's funny because even in the midst of this, we were sitting at, the Mexican restaurant in Harlem before we even progressed to the later stages, right, of this night. Like, he was curious, right? A lot of people are curious about me. She's just like, oh, what kind of man do you like? And I'm, expressing, I like alpha men. And I say this. And even like so-called alpha men have come my way and attempted. And he's like, yo, you have to know what the fuck you're doing. You really got to be truly out. Like, when I tell you I run circles around, I've said this, I run circles around your motherfucking ass. It's best. I'm trying to look out for you. I'm doing you a favor. It's best. You going, yo, I be trying to tell them, yo. I'm just saying. They don't listen. This is what happens. You don't fucking listen. You don't fucking listen. So now you gotta learn the hard way. This is just what the fuck happened. Now you gotta learn the hard way. And so, yeah. Basically, make a long story short. I mean, I laughed. Granted, yeah, I tell y'all, that's when I first came. I was laughing on my way home. I laughed, y'all. I'm just laughing internally, y'all. I'm laughing even with a smirk on my face. Because it's funny to me. I'm laughing at these motherfuckers. I ain't even get there yet. But, yo, so from Red Rooster, of course, the intent was for us to go our separate ways. Me go home. They go to, because they actually got a hotel in Harlem. And they tell me where the hotel is. And they're saying, this is where we are. I'm like, okay, cool. Right? But I'm going my separate way. And as I'm walking down the sidewalk, it's just like, it was just destiny for us to cross paths again. And then that's when, the husband, he is trying extra fucking hard, to just reel me in. And, I can see, like, on the expression on his wife's face, she's like, this is supposed to be our fucking vacation. And you are ruining it. You are trying to fucking triangulate. I get, like, her body language was communicating that, right? But you know how the saying goes, when a woman is fucking fed up. So from there, they said, oh, well, our hotel is right here. And it turns out it's at the fucking hotel. It's a brand new hotel that's near the Apollo Theater. Right? Y'all know, if you know, you know. But it's, nice. And not from the outside, the exterior looks like it's like another theater, but it's really a hotel that's right next to the Apollo Theater. The name of the hotel is fitting my memory. So they invite me. It's like, oh, do you want to come up for some drinks? I'm just like, y'all don't really fucking know me. You don't know how an adventurous person I am. I said, you know what? I know my limit. It's not really about the drinks. I feel like something needs to happen. You know, like spiritual people just know. It just feels like, you know how when you feel like you're called to do something and your mission is not yet complete? Nigga, I'm with the shits. Ain't nothing about to interfere with this. No time, no nothing. Time, what is time? I'm not even thinking about the fucking time at this point. So like, yeah, I go in. Granted, this is my first time in this hotel. Really nice. I go in and we end up in the reception, which is like, what floor was that? The fourth or fifth? It's like up, right? And we go, nice. We go in there. Yo, his whole thing, I guess in his mind, he think, okay, I'm just going to buy the drinks. All right, I'm going to ball the fuck out. I'm going to try to impress her, get her back up to the room. And the whole time, I guess he's trying to convince his wife. Now, the question here stands, is this something he's done before? Granted, it's clear in my mind, from what I see, this is nothing new. This is not new behavior. He's done this shit before. And I'm looking at her like, she's used to this shit. How low of a woman can you be? And you know, in the interim phases where, like, of course, he had to go to the restroom. This is before we got back to their hotel where they have like a bar area. It's like this hotel is really nice, right? So of course they have the rooms, but they have like this floor where it's a reception area where people check in, but it's more like a bar area, lounge area where you hang out. There's music, right? And that's where we are. And like even in that space, right? And even before that, when we were at Red Rooster, even before that, where we actually met at the restaurant, at the Mexican restaurant, where I was just innocently fucking getting dinner for myself. Right? Like, I'm minding my fucking black business. Before I was disrupted, right, by his comment as I was coming back from the restroom. And I can see that clearly his intention, you know, he had his own agenda. She was just going along, but I can see like how this was not her first rodeo. Like I said, I read energy. And granted, this is a whole white couple. It's a whole white man, a whole white woman. And they are well established, you know, financially, right? But money don't buy happiness necessarily. I can clearly see she ain't fucking happy. This is not a happy woman here. I'm happy. And it's funny because it's almost like she was looking at me, kind of living vicariously through me being a single woman, just being free. And she even said that. She was just like, yeah, I can imagine, you know, there's a level of freedom, independence that comes along with being single. And what are you telling it? I've been single since 2017. All right. And I give her my own, you know, background, how I get here. Meanwhile, she's dealing with this motherfucker. Now, I hate to fucking put it out there, but like the guy, I mean, she was an eye-looking woman, and he was an eye-looking man, but he definitely, like, his head looked smaller than normal, than what it should be. I just gotta say that. Like, his head was a smaller size. Y'all may say, oh, I'm being petty, but I'm just saying, though. I'm just fucking saying, though. And I'm just like, damn. It just took me back. Like, damn, women are going through this shit. And people try to, pump it up like being partner is just the best thing since sliced bread. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is what she's going through. And she just looks so uncomfortable, but meanwhile, like, she's going because she loves him. So she's going, along with it. And me, with my finesse, I'm just sitting up there like, I'm playing a fucking role. I'm not interested in neither one of them. What I'm more interested in, though, is the outcome of this whole exchange. And so, basically, it got to the point where clearly she hadn't had enough, right? And we're already at the point where we're at their place where they're staying, right? This is like their temporary residence while they're here in New York. Traveling from Manchester, United Kingdom. And she leaves. Like, she's just like, okay, I'm like, she's just up and left, and she goes to the room. And I'm just sitting there, and like, yeah, granted, like, listen, I ain't even gonna front. At this point, I ain't gonna say I'm wasted, because I don't get wasted. I know my limit, but I'm feeling it. Like, I definitely know my limit. I know how much is drank, the volume in which I should take in, the rate in which I should take it in, right? Up against time, right? And so I'm feeling it. I had me a glass of Merlot. This is when we're at, the hotel, right? Where they were staying in the lobby. Nice. And so she didn't fucking had, she didn't peeked out. And she gets up. I don't even remember what her out was, to be honest. We lit at this point because it got to a point where, they had to turn the lights on and like, okay, we're still being able to serve and entertain the guests, but you'll have to move to a different seating area. So we end up going to that area. And it's funny because it was a group of beautiful fucking black men. They're looking at me. I find it interesting. Like the whole interracial dynamic, how oftentimes, black people, whether man or woman, it's like we don't notice each other until we're juxtaposed against white people. I find that interesting. But yeah, it's like all eyes was on us. The center fucking of attention tonight. And it, of course, surrounded by black people, but, here I am with these white people, this white couple, married couple, man and woman, from Manchester, United Kingdom. It's funny they will see that. I don't know. They may not find it. But it's just like, yeah. They said when a woman's fed up, she hadn't reached that fed up point. So she got up and she left. And of course, I'm tipsy. I ain't say I'm wasted, but I'm tipsy at that point. And me and him, we still there. Meanwhile, she's going up to the room. She's like, all right, it's a hard out for her. But he's like, before she left, he's like trying to make a continuation of this whole experience so that it doesn't end. So he's asking me about tomorrow and how we can connect, right? And where we can connect, and their plans for tomorrow. They have a tour scheduled to go check out Madison Square Gardens, and from there they're going to go, to a few other places that was recommended to them, including the Hudson Yards, mall. And this shit, to me, it's funny. It's, what's funny about it? Because it's like, first of all, I know that he came with a certain intention. I think she was also buying into that, but it didn't go the way she planned. Listen, when you try to get over, you try to run, like, that shit is not going to work. Trying to run game on me. I don't care in which way you're trying to do it. Personally or it's just not going to work. Even professional. It's just, you can't run, like, you cannot hustle a hustler. When I tell you, I have lived life. I've seen it all. Most of it all. So it's very difficult, I think, to slip some shit past me. Like, it ain't flying like that. And I'm so thankful this night happened, because when I say she left, yo, she came fucking back. She came back. And when she came back with furious as fuck. Yo, she came back and almost, I can feel the energy. Because like I said, like, y'all know I'm spiritual. I sense shit before it happens. I can just feel energy shift. I can feel all that shit before it happens. And like, I'm there, unafraid. And she comes back downstairs and she's just like, the fuck, you still here? She's going off on this ice show. She turned the fuck up. She's like, you still fucking here? She's going off on his ass. She looked at me. She was like, he's trying to get at you? I guess, like, it kind of, like, it finally snapped at her. It took for her to kind of separate from the situation, for her to realize, like, her whole husband is trying to run game on me. I see it. It's like, I saw it a few fucking establishments ago, right? When we were fucking at the Mexican restaurant. Did she not? I think, yeah, of course she did see it, because I can see, like, her energy. Her whole energy field communicated that with her arms being folded. You know, you can read her face. But she was just going along with it. I guess she didn't want to appear like, oh, jealous or trying to be envious, or insecure. She didn't want to, I guess, appear as that wife in that moment. So she just went along with it. But I'm imagining myself, how difficult that is to imagine myself in her shoes. Ew. To have to go through that and fake and be phony and tolerate. But I definitely, my energy shifted when she came back down and she was in her motherfucking lioness energy. And like, what the fuck? You still here? She was first directed at him, and then she looked at me. She was like, he's trying to hit on you? He's been trying to hit on you? And I said, listen, I looked at her, because you know, your girl ain't scared of shit. Listen, I'm a whole motherfucking goddess out here. If you don't know, you just don't know. But listen, I ain't scared of shit. So I stood there in my goddess energy, in my feminine energy. She's just like, yo, she was in rage. And I say, yeah. And I told him, it's a boundary here. And I respect that boundary. He needs to respect you, just as I told him in front of her. Right? So it wasn't like this was a first exchange where I'm setting a boundary, like, come on, respect your fucking wife. And so I felt like I was a marriage counselor amidst all of this shit. Because I'm just like, this is your fucking wife. And he's like, oh, like, trying to wear the pants and be the man. And this is before she came down. And I'm just like, but you got a whole fucking wife. And he was like, but yeah, I'm a man. And that's when I stood up. I stood up. And when I stood up and I was checking his ass, like, okay, yeah, you a man. You a man, so you're a man, so that grants you the privilege, I guess, the right to be disrespectful towards your wife. And I said, she left. You should be up there with her. Why are you still here? I'm telling him that while he's still there, trying to entertain me. And even not only that, but Like, yo, he was trying to be so convincing, I guess, to manipulate the situation so that I would come up to their room. I'm like, hell fucking no, that shit fucking ain't happen. First of all, this motherfucking crack ain't even fine enough. Like, yo, I ain't even attracted to this motherfucker at all. Like, I mean, he got the money, but apart from that, like, nah, hell motherfucking nah. And it is funny because I had said to him, or I kind of made this joke. I said, you know, you're loyal to your wife, right? Like, and this was in front of her. I say, you know, y'all respect each other. You don't cheat on each other. He was like, no. I say, no open relationship. Y'all not doing that, right? You're committed to each other. Because I can see his mind, you know, the whole fucking night, his mind is just wandering all over the fucking place. I can see that. She saw that. So, of course, I'm trying to contain that energy, right? While we were in the lobby area of their hotel in Harlem. And he's like, oh, no, I would never cheat on her. I would never engage in an open relationship dynamic, right? I would, you know, only her, she would be allowed to engage with the woman, but no, not me, right? I thought that shit was funny, yo. You know, when I tell you she came down, and I'm about to say this, I'm about to end the video. This is where it took the fucking cake. And granted, this is New York City, so it's like nothing surprises you. Nothing really should surprise anyone. This shit go down. But, and of course me, I ain't scared of shit. So I'm just standing there. The fuck? Because I know, bitch, you can't whoop my motherfucking ass. Well, let me take a sip of my water. Yeah, this is why I made this video. I just want to laughing because I'm like, yo, I just think it's funny because number one, she's white. They're white, right? I'm a black woman. And we're surrounded, like, black people around us. And of course, these are middle, upper class black people. But there's a whole audience here at this point because she turned the fuck up when she came down. Like, she ready to fucking take vengeance in her own fucking hands at this point. Right? And I get it. You know, when a person is angry, they're enraged, sometimes they become irrational. So I understand that I could have easily been a target. And she, of course, she did turn to me amidst that. And she was looking at me like, oh, he's trying to hit on you. And I said, you know, first of all, calm your ass down. But yeah, he is. And I said to him, there's a boundary, right? You have a wife. I'm not interested in his ass. But I wish a motherfucker would put their hands on me. I wish, yo, could you imagine? Because I get it. What could drive a woman there? And first of all, she already frustrated. She came all this long way from Manchester, United Kingdom to New York City, United States for this motherfucker to be disrespectful, and this ain't the first time. I get it. She got a lot of fucking shit let off her chest. But she knew not to let that shit off on me. Yeah. That shit, that energy stayed on his ass. She want none of this. Because I would have walked that bitch up and down that motherfucking lobby. I'm telling you, yo. I would walk that bitch up and down. I'm just saying, though. The girl got hands and I can damn sure fight. She damn sure ain't want none of this over here. I thought that shit was funny. So from that, yo, I can't make this shit up. She fucking choked his ass. She came around. She was like, ugh, the fuck? She was mad as shit. She choked his ass. Then she slapped his ass. Bam. He said, you can tell this can't be his first time going through this because he took it. He just sucked that shit in. and then follow her upstairs and look back at me. I'm just like, this is a damn motherfucking shame. And it's funny because before she did that, before she came downstairs, I checked his ass. I'm standing up and I'm looking at his ass and I'm checking his ass, right? Mush his motherfucking ass in the face, in the chest, and all that shit. Like, come on, you gotta. Like, what the fuck? I'm reading his ass up and down. He's just like, yeah. He was like, I'm a man, but I'm a man. Hell nah. That's when she came down. She's like, what? You, what the fuck are you doing? So I say all this to say, like, it's sad. It's sad. And of course, she's not the only woman that's going through this. But ain't no motherfucking way. And you got the nerve to ask me, like, both of them, oh, you're single? A beautiful woman? The fuck? And I'm telling them, like, how the dating pool is fucked up and men ain't pretty much saying niggas ain't shit. And niggas include all men that be about that bullshit. I ain't saying all men, but all men that be about that bullshit. Okay? Ain't shit. And she looking at me like, yeah, I can relate. But it's just funny though, because it's like, why stay? To me, I never, ever could stay in a relationship tolerating abuse and a man just disrespecting. Like, if I ever find myself, and not to say I'm immune, nobody is immune to going through that kind of bullshit, mistreatment, right? But when you sense it's coming, or you sense that it's happening, and you're going through it, like, get the fuck out. That should be your mission. You know who the hell you are. Your mission should be get the fuck out of there. But to stay, and they were boasting about how they've been together for, how many years you said? Like over 20-some years they've been married? I guarantee you. And they may see this, and y'all can help them find this fucking video by sharing this shit and liking it. Because maybe she needs to see it, and maybe he needs to see it. But I promise you this, and this is why I laughed, yo, at the start of this video, and as I walked away from that encounter, as I head to the fucking subway train station, I'm laughing inside. I'm even on a train just laughing, because I know that relationship ain't gonna last. I did something tonight, and I'm telling you, I just wrote some shit tonight. I stirred up some shit, and I can see that in her, and come out of her came this woman that recognized who the fuck she is. That's a good thing. I say this very confidently to say that's a good thing. I felt like mission accomplished. Hell, I was sitting there for a reason. It's a reason why we crossed paths. Everything happened for a reason. I was wondering, like, why is the energy so, like, the magnetism is so strong? Not that I was gravitating towards them, but they were gravitating towards me initially at the Mexican restaurant. I was wondering, what is the deal with this strong magnetism? That's it. I learned that I stuck it out, and to see how the night unfolded, and I felt her energy, and I know because I've been there. I know the energy when, as a woman, you've reached that point where, like, okay, enough is enough. You've had enough, baby. It's a done deal. This shit is done. That shit is done. And I've said some things tonight directly to her, woman to woman. Even said some things to the both of them. And they were taking that shit in. Spirit to spirit. It's a done deal, baby. That marriage is no longer. Is not going to be any longer. My work is done. Mission accomplished. And it's funny because when I say mission accomplished, I ain't even, like, that wasn't necessarily my intention. But since they invited themselves into my sphere, as goes with anyone else, be careful. Be motherfucking careful. I'm not here to play. I'm not here to play. They came in my grass, and this is what happened. Y'all, listen, you had to be there to witness it. And there was some bystanders, there was some people there. I don't know if that shit got recorded. It would be funny if it did. But she had it, And when she, the whole choke and the slap, I'm like, yeah. He looking at me. I'm looking at them like, listen, run the fuck up. That's why I promise you, bitch, I'll lay anybody ass out, this motherfucker. I get you angry. Sometimes people have their anger displaced. That's cool. You run your ass. I promise you, bitch, I'm flooring your motherfucking ass. You going down. And she looked at me, she knew, okay, yeah. So she had to continue to direct the energy towards him. Don't bring that shit over here. Don't bring that bullshit over here, because I promise you, bitch, I'm making your ass slithereens in this motherfucker. I ain't the one. These some dangerous hands, and my energy is dangerous, I'm telling you. So, yeah. It's crazy because that hotel that they are at, like I say, is like right next to, it's new, right next to the Apollo Theater. They spent $500 a night. They were telling me $500 a night at that shit. And they got 4 nights. They ain't gonna have no good night. But I get it, I understand dysfunctional relationships. So, motherfucking argue, fight, and then make up with sex. I don't think he gonna be able to redeem himself with the motherfucking sex, because he look like he ain't got it like that. They looking for excitement to come into their shit. So it's like, what's keeping them together? And then it's funny because he tried to justify it before she came down to say, oh, well, she's having an affair. She had an affair on me with another woman for 6 months a little while ago, and blah, 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 blah. So I guess he's trying to justify, like, his efforts, which were thwarted like this shit. Hell, motherfucker. You gotta come stronger than that. First of all, you white. White people ain't my motherfucking thing like that. And it's funny because it can be misleading, I can come off as if be very personable, very engaging. It may appear as if I like white people in that way. But listen, you gotta know me to know. Bitch, I'm a Pan-African through and through. Black power, nah. If you know me, you know. Don't get shit twisted, motherfucker. I can sit at the same tables with anybody. That don't mean I motherfucking vibe with your asses. And to me, that's the most funniest shit. Because they got their ass did in. It's clear. They got their ass motherfucking did in. I know that bitch mad as fuck. She mad. She like, this motherfucking black bitch. I can tell she ain't like my ass from the get-go. I can tell. Just the energy, the look. This motherfucking black bitch got my husband attention and shit. I ain't got your motherfucking... His ass looking at motherfucking me. And I attain that shit, and you not woman enough to motherfucking step up from the get-go when we was at the goddamn Mexican restaurant. That's just, to me, that's just too much. That's why I'm single. That's just too much energy. You gotta do all that shit as a woman. What the fuck? The fuck? Bitch got low self-esteem. That's what it takes. Low self-esteem for a woman to even tolerate. I can't tolerate 2 seconds, 1 second of that bullshit. Anyway, I might write this video up. I had to share that shit with y'all because I'm just like, damn. Sometimes, of course I know my own power, but when you see your own power, it's like, god damn. You're taking it back at your own motherfucking shit. Like, god damn. I didn't mean to do it like that. I didn't mean to do it like that, but I walk away like, you know what? That shit needed to happen. They needed to go through that way. Anyway, I'm about to go ahead and wrap this video up. Y'all go ahead and drop your comments below. Listen, I ain't feel not 1 inch of bad walking away from that shit. That shit needed to happen. Because I feel like, listen, I get it. You set out with a certain intention and that shit backfired on your motherfucking ass. And that's what your ass get. That's what his ass get. And it's funny because throughout the night they kept wondering like, oh, well, you know, you by yourself? Yeah. I can handle myself by myself. Be careful, motherfuckers is always by themselves. Don't get it mistaken. Like, oh, well, you're lonely. You're lonely. Lonely for what? Be careful, motherfucker that's very comfortable being by themselves, alone by themselves. Just. I try. And the reason why I say, because I have a heart. I'm very compassionate. I don't like to offend people, hurt people. But they did that shit to them. Y'all did that shit to yourself. You see this shit? You did that shit to yourself. You brought that shit on yourself, man. Can't be mad. Don't be mad at me. And I get it, yo. I seen the fury in her motherfucking eyes. I promise you, yo, everything I love, I would demolish her ass, yo. You put your motherfucking hands on, but she did. Nobody motherfucking laid a finger on my ass, but I could tell she wanted to. Like, she was like, ooh, she was bad. Don't be mad at me. You gotta deal with this month. So why even, if you have to fight, if you gotta do all that shit that she going through with his ass, why? Like, kick his ass to the curb. But that's the thing, is like being with a person that long, your identity, who you are as a person, gets wrapped up in that other individual. So imagining a life apart from that is damn near impossible. I get it. I've been there, and that's the reason why she was asking me questions like, oh, when was your last relationship? And like I said, I felt like I was giving them fucking counseling through all of this because she was seeking help. I know a battered woman when I see one, yo. And I ain't saying battered like physically, right? Being physically, like, her mind is fucking thwarted. Her mind is twisted. Her mind is fucking battered. This bitch needs fucking help. But listen, I know that what happened, I was a catalyst for what happened. And I'm sure there's going to be a change that's happening from that. That's a good thing. I'm happy. That's why I say I walk away with a smile on my face. I'm happy. But I gotta go. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Shit funny, yo.